Oh, man, guys. Oh, Instagram is full of it. Full of it. Look, I think I said this yesterday. I am a sports fan. We talk about it from time to time. Um, the past couple of days between the Cowboys and the Eagles, colossal collapses on the national stage in the playoffs has created quite a bit of hilarity. And so I was just watching, what's this guy's Instagram? Hang on. I've subscribed to it. Coach 30, Mr. Go 30, doing his normal, like he pretends to be all the different players. And you keep seeing this guy. He's using ring pops for Super Bowl rings. Keeps cutting to this thing where it's just got this hand with 5 rings just tapping it. And I'm like, what are they going to do bringing Tom Brady into all this or whatever? And no, at the end, it's Charles Haley. He gets up and he beats up Dak. If you know who Charles Haley is, congratulations. You're a friend of mine, and you'll understand why that's hilarious. That was great. All right, guys, how is everybody doing? Welcome to the show. My name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God, humble parishioner at a church, just small church, just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Not a pastor, not a biblical scholar. I haven't been to seminary. I'm not kind of trying to get you to join my church or donate at any special cause. I'm just trying to get you, or I'm just trying to talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. Been a Christian all my life, 41 years non-denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Many times I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you hear me on this show, if you're watching me stream, you can count on getting my honest opinions on whatever it is we're talking about. So if you are somebody who is interested in learning more about Jesus, you're maybe not a Christian, but you want to know more about it. You're searching for something. And you're trying to get, hang on a second. I'm gonna take care of that in a minute. You're trying to get a better understanding of what's going on with faith, why Jesus is so holy and sacred to us, and what the deal is, aside from the point that he says a lot of good things. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Maybe this average guy, layperson approach to talking about it is exactly your speed and what you're trying to latch on to get more information. Hopefully the influence I can bestow upon you will set you on a path to salvation. That is a key mission of this channel, is to give people who are looking for reasons to believe the best reasons I can give you. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics or discussions, welcome as well. You'll see that we run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. We're very much about talking about the Word, giving opinions about it, and maintaining the community. We get off topic a little bit, but it all circles around the faith. And yeah, we try to look out for each other. That's kind of the purpose behind this, and we'd love to have you be part of that. So no matter if you're just learning or just getting information, or you've been a Christian forever, you're more mature in your faith than I am, get in the chat. Get in the chat and be part of the show. Chat's super important to the show. You guys make the show better. We have a great group of folks who tune in and night out, put their 2 cents in, and I'd like to hear yours as well. Share your opinion. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think I'm doing right or wrong. Tell me about any unique insights or experiences, some perspectives on whatever it is we're talking about. We're a small enough group now that if you write it in there, I will be sure to read it. And like I said, it makes the content better and more compelling, and it gives more meat and community feeling to what we're doing here. So, with that said, we're going to get the show started. I'm going to put this television on mute. I didn't realize it was as loud as it was, but man, it is awful, and I don't really care about Big East college basketball all that much. So, hang on 1 second. There we go. Much better. The Chiefs. That's right. So, welcome, Lucy and Thad. How y'all doing? Glad to have you guys in the chat. Who the heck is KC? Kansas City Chiefs. Dad says, I'm just hoping Casey loses. That way I don't have to watch that crazy girl. I am a Chiefs fan. Not a recent one either. I'm a Chiefs fan, and I almost hope that. I am sick to death of seeing Taylor Swift when I'm trying to watch football. It's almost as bad as the Kaepernick thing. It ruins my escapism. She's annoying. Her fans are kind of the same. And not only that, they've been playing like crap. Travis Kelce in particular has been playing like crap. And I am not a Johnny come lately to the Chiefs. If you want, I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do it for the next stream. I'll go get my Joe Montana Kansas City Chiefs jersey that fits my son, because that's what I was wearing back in the day. I have a very polyamorous fandom when it comes to football, when it comes to the NFL. Look, it's very straightforward with the other sports. Baseball, Cincinnati Reds. It's my favorite team, my favorite sports team, period. Cincinnati Reds. Hockey, New Jersey Devils. Basketball, which I kind of follow. San Antonio Spurs. Big, well, let me go back. Cincinnati Reds. 90s. Chris Sabo, Rob Dibble, Barry Larkin, Randy Myers, Nasty Boys, Eric Davis, big fan. Been a disappointed Reds fan ever since. And if you don't believe me, go check me out on Twitter, because if I'm not talking about theological issues, I'm probably talking about how angry I am at the Reds. New Jersey Devils for hockey. Started playing soccer, playing goalie around the same time Martin Brodeur was a rookie for them. Fox had just started airing hockey down here in Virginia, where it's not a sport that anybody cares about. So latched on to that. Big fan. Greatest goalie of all time, in my opinion. But that's because I'm a fan, right? San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan. Great dude. U.S. Naval Academy grad went and did his commitment. I'm a military dude. I loved the not only his talent, but just the way he played the game and the way he did things, which was really cool when his son went to go play for my favorite college, which is Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I used to have a little son back there. It's actually underneath the shield. Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That is probably my second favorite sports team. And then we get to pro football. Now, when I was a kid, I could not choose. I could not choose. Favorite sports player of all time, favorite athlete of all time, Joe Montana, 49ers. So I'm a Niners fan. Grew up in a Colts household because they're all throwbacks from the old Baltimore Colts days before they moved to Indianapolis in the middle of the night. So 49ers and the Colts. But Christian Okoye was on the Chiefs, and I thought he was the man. And then Joe Montana goes to the Chiefs. So now I'm a 49ers, Colts, and Chiefs fan. Oh, and by the way, the Raiders, as a kindergartner, that's the coolest logo I'd ever seen. So I'm a Raiders. So I was a Raiders fan. So 49ers, Colts, Kansas City Chiefs, and Raiders. And the funny thing is, the Chiefs and the Raiders, and the Chiefs hate the Raiders, and the 49ers hate the Raiders, and vice versa. So, but um, I can only have one wife. The Bible doesn't say anything about how many sports teams how many sports teams of any particular sport I can like. So if I want to be polyamorous there, I can. Also, I live in Virginia. I'm a free agent fan. I don't have any professional sports teams, nor will Virginia ever have a professional sports team at the major league level. So I can just root for whoever the heck I want. So give me the grief. I've heard it all my life. If you feel like that's not fair, it doesn't matter to me. I know all those teams inside and out. Was a big fan of them for years. Stopped watching the NFL a little after the 2000 era when the wide receivers started being divas, and it used to be like Terrell Owens. And I was a Niners fan. Couldn't stand the way he was behaving, and Randy Moss, and was it Joe Horn, Torrey Horn? Can't remember. And so I just was like, yeah, there's too much ego in it. Came back, and then the Kaepernick thing happened, which just again ruined the escapism aspect of it. I like enjoying the game. I like enjoying the sport for what it is and the talent that goes into it. Lucy said I should stick to fighting sports. That's why I'm a hockey fan. I'll watch MMA. It's okay. When there's a lot of combat, I like it. When it's a lot of holding on to everybody, then or grappling and everything, it's interesting. I don't go out of my way to watch it. But when it's on, oh yeah, I'm tuned in. I'm definitely tuned in. Oh, or fighting sports like battle bots. Watch battle bots. I was with my hanging out with my brother at his house for New Year's, and we were all watching. He had I forget what premium network he's got. I think it's Showtime. I can't remember, but it had all the battle bots, current season, everything. It was great. It's great. So yeah, that'll start that out. Alias is here and he's frozen. Thaw out, my man. Bundle up, but put this on your phone. Bundle up by the fire. Get some soup or whatever will warm you up, and some liquor. And tune in. And love having you here. Love having you here, Alias. You're great. Alias said, "Isn't Taylor Swift the running back for the Eagles?" No, I think it's DeAndre Swift. But there are all sorts of jokes about it because Travis Kelce's brother, Jason Kelce, was on the Eagles, but he has since denounced his retirement after that embarrassment that happened last night. Alias. Coworker has a football signed by Joe Montana. That is awesome. That is awesome. I have wanted now. this is me as a kid, gaga over that kind of stuff. As I'm older now, I put less value on a person based on their celebrity status, much less value on a person based on their celebrity status. So I would love to meet Joe Montana, shake his hand, be like, dude, I think you're the greatest quarterback ever lived. Huge fan of yours, but I'm not like I used to be. It's game dependent. Is it game dependent? I don't know. Virginia will have a professional water polo team pretty soon. No, they won't. No, they won't. Just can't do it. We're not a sports state. So you've got the major locations up north, Arlington, that area. They're all washed. They all consider themselves part of the DMC. Or wait, DMV, sorry, which makes so much sense. DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia corridor or whatever. Yeah. The DMV is miserable. So is Northern Virginia, Maryland, and DC. So they can have that acronym. They're all Washington Redskins, Commanders, Capitals, and Nationals fans, or Orioles fans, Ravens fans, because Baltimore's up there too. Then you've got Richmond. And you got Richmond, which we used to have the Richmond Braves, which was the AAA baseball team of obviously the Atlanta Braves, back when they were a powerhouse. All the old school guys from that dynasty that only managed to win one World Series, Chipper Jones, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, those folks, they came up through Richmond, and we got to watch them. That was really cool. But we couldn't even with that, we couldn't hang on to that team, and they left. And who did we get instead? We got the AA affiliate of the Giants, the now named Richmond Flying Squirrels, which it's a fun experience to go to the games, but it's not the major leagues by any stretch of the imagination. I enjoy going to the Squirrels games. I like sitting and you can get good seats for really cheap behind home plate and watch the game and just enjoy it. And some folks who have this pipe dream that Richmond's gonna get can handle a bigger venue. We'll talk about how we draw more than any of the other AA teams in the area. Well, yeah, we're Richmond. We're the capital of Virginia, and you're comparing our attendance numbers to Altoona, Pennsylvania, or Bowie, Maryland. And we're not outperforming by that much. So we're just, and the other place that you could talk about is maybe Norfolk area, the Norfolk Tidewater area. And it's just, I don't think they've got any space for it. And they can't find funding for it. And they're all broke. So there we go. Thad said, my brother-in-law went to the 85 Bears. Whew. Bears Patriots has all sorts of memorabilia. The thing that gets me, he only paid how much to get in? $35? Woo-hoo. Nice. Is that Templar kite shield real? No, it is a real gift that somebody gave to me. Buddy of mine. There's a backstory to it. In fact, if you were paying attention to the stream last night, Chad, who commented, he's my best buddy. He had commented that we were talking about Warhammer, but he got that for me. That was my Christmas gift this year from him. No, it's very new. It has not seen any action against the filthy Saracen hordes. Saladin in an effort to retake the Holy Land. Yeah. Only paid $35 for a Super Bowl ticket. It's insane. It is 1,000 times more expensive now. And I'm not even kidding. I stopped watching fighting after Boom Boom Mancini killed Kim. I don't know that one. Alias at DMZ. It actually not a bad term either. Demilitarized zone. They have Northern Virginia hates guns. They'll ban them wherever they can. DC tries to ban them wherever they can, and Maryland hates guns too. So not actually a bad moniker there. YouTube, the judo tournaments. Yeah. All right. So in a rush today, stream got started a couple minutes late. Appreciate you guys being patient with me. Had the almost 8-month-old now. Almost 8-month-old. What's going on, Alex? 8-month-old was not settling, and I had other things to do, like take a shower and just get ready for streaming, and so it just set me back. And so I didn't want to rush too much. So, like I said, appreciate you guys being patient with me while I get everything set up. It is I have less time to get this all put together and done well for you. But you guys seem to appreciate it anyway. So I love y'all. Love you guys. Glad to have y'all here, and it does mean a lot to me. But we're going to talk. You know what means more to me? The word of the Lord. We're going to talk about that tonight. We had some good readings last night. Some good Psalms. Alex said about to be 15 here, so outside checking pipes. Yeah, guys, don't forget. If it's going to get too cold, you're going to get that blast of Arctic temperatures. Just turn the water to trickle, right, and open up the cabinets where applicable. Hopefully, you've already got some insulation around the pipes. A lot of you guys, I probably don't even need to tell this to. If John Smoth is checking in, is lurking somewhere in the stream, who normally swoops in. I know he is. I know this is probably just a universally cold time period for him. So stay warm, John, wherever you are. Just waiting for you to swoop in and go, well, actually, watch him actually be vacationing somewhere tropical while we're all freezing. All right, so tonight we're going to get into Psalms 57 and 58. I'm doing this because the banner down below told me to. But all joking aside, this has been an awesome walk through Psalms, through the Psalms, and really just talking about them and reading them and absorbing them and giving them the consideration and contemplation that they deserve. So let's continue that as we go through the second part, or part 2 of 3, since we've already passed the 1/3 checkpoint. Screw the cold weather. Bought a whole week's worth of Monster only to have it freeze and explode all over my car. RIP. Well, I'm not going to mourn the loss of Monster, which I think is disgusting. However, I will never wish that sugary mess to be in anybody's interior of their vehicle. How have I not heard of that? This was boxing Max Mancini knocked Kim out after the match. Kim was really out. They took him to the hospital. He died when he got there. How did I not? How did I miss that one? ESPN do a 30 for 30. Look, ESPN's generally worthless for anything now. They used to be great. And the old Stuart Scott and that period, that heyday was great. But since now today they're worthless. And but the 30 for 30 series, which ended up becoming much more than 30 videos, amazing documentaries in there. Even if you're not a sports fan, they're compelling to watch. All right. Prayer for safety from enemies. Okay, this sounds like it's gonna start off very similar to where we left off last night, which was David, who in Psalm 55, was venting his anger and calling down God's wrath on a betrayer. Somebody who stabbed him in the back. And not just for what, doesn't sound like it was a one-time thing. This is for like, no, I have befriended you, but my plan all along was to be your enemy. And I was just biding my time. And so then the one after that in 56, he was talking more about, hey, God, the enemy's after me. They want to kill me, but I trust in you. I know you've got my back. I know I'm fighting the good fight. I'm doing things for you. Protect me, and give him the old Mancini treatment, as it were. See how I worked that in there, Thad? Don't be mad. To the chief musician, set to Do Not Destroy, which sounds like that almost sounds like a death metal song. A Michtam or a Mictam of David when he fled from Saul into the cave. Okay, so we've got some context here. Let's go back before we read it. Let's go back and talk about David running from Saul, which would be 2 Samuel, I think. Nope, 1 Samuel. That's right. 1 Samuel is Saul. I think that is the second time. Nope. That was the second time. This must have been the first time. Oh, crap. I know it is. Well, look, and Lucy says, calling down the wrath of God is never a wise idea, as I have found out. It helps when you are an anointed king of Israel doing the things that God specifically told you to do. I mean, there's me, Joe Schmo, or you, right? Just walking around and going, hey, I think that I'm right here. I think that something bad's happened. I want to be a superhero. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. And you treat it like a LARP, and you're just bringing down holy hell on something. And that's not the same as King David in the service of the Lord calling it down. But you're right. You're right. It is not for us. I can't think of you guys having a single instance where you might need to call down the wrath of God on somebody. I was going to make a joke, and then I realized it would be in very poor taste, even though I feel like it might be appropriate. I think I should just shut up. All right. Saul spares king. Nope. David spares Saul. There we go. Here it is, the cave. The cave. So now it happened. David returned from following the Philistines because he was fighting them as well as searching for David to kill because he's overly jealous for no good reason. David loves Saul and honors Saul and respects Saul. His Saul's son Jonathan is his best friend, like best friend, and Saul's daughter is David's wife. Saul doesn't like David because he's more popular than him, and Saul is not in favor with God, and so he looks at David as a threat instead of maybe a useful guide influence on perhaps redeeming himself. Because I think because at this point Samuel has washed his hands of him. So, but instead, Saul tries to kill David several times, and at this point, David's on the run. And Saul is actively has a posse out. And by posse, I mean small army that he's leading, looking for David in the wilderness. David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men, small army, went to seek David and his men on the rocks of the wild goats, came to the sheepfolds by the road, blah, blah, blah. There was a cave. Saul went in there to attend to his needs. That means, sounds like needs to relieve himself, go to the bathroom. David and his men were staying in the recesses of the cave. Then the men of David said to him, "This is the day of which the Lord said to you, Behold, I will deliver your enemy into your hand, that you may do to him as it seems good to you." And David arose and secretly cut off a corner of Saul's robe. Now it happened afterward that David's heart troubled him because he had cut Saul's robe. And he said to his men, "The Lord forbid that I should do this thing to my master, the Lord's anointed." This is the respect. David loves Saul. David knows that Saul's not a good guy, and David, you would feel, would be well in his rights to defend himself. However, the love and faith and respect that David shows God is shown here. "The Lord forbid that I should do this thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch out my hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord." The Lord hasn't told him that he is permitted to kill the anointed king of Israel. And as we learn, Saul's end happens in time, kind of, and it's his own undoing. And it comes, and God basically says, this is how it's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. And it ends up happening that way. But the Lord forbid that I should do this thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch out my hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. So David restrained his servants with these words and did not allow them to rise against Saul. And Saul got up from the cave and went on his way. I wonder if it's at a number, was he going 1 or 2? David also arose afterward, not probably making sure he didn't step in it, went out of the cave and called out to Saul, saying, "My lord, the king." And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed down. And David said to Saul, "Why do you listen to the words of the men who say, 'Indeed, David seeks you harm'? Look, this day your eyes have seen that the Lord delivered you today into my hand in the cave, and someone urged me to kill you, but my eye spared you. And I said, I will not stretch out my hand against my Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed. Moreover, my father, see the corner of your robe in my hand? For in that I cut off the corner of your robe and did not kill you. No, and see that there is neither evil nor rebellion in my hand, and I have not sinned against you. Yet you hunt my life to take it. Let the Lord judge between you and me, and let the Lord avenge me on you." but my hand shall not be against you. As the proverb of the ancients says, wickedness proceeds from the wicked, but my hand shall not be against you. After whom has the king of Israel come out? Whom do you pursue? A dead dog? A flea? Therefore, let the Lord be judge, and judge between you and me, and see and plead my case, and deliver me out of your hand. And even at this point, we see traces of the man Saul used to be, or could have been. This could have been the redeeming moment for him. And at first, he takes the right steps. Saul said, "Is this your voice, my son David?" Because he's kind of like a father figure to him. Kind of. David has a father. He's not an orphan. And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. Then he said to David, "You are more righteous than I, for you have rewarded me with good, whereas I have rewarded you with evil. And you have shown this day how you have dealt well with me. For when the Lord delivered me into your hand, you did not kill me. For if a man finds his enemy, will he let him get away safely? Therefore, may the Lord reward you with good for what you have done to me this day." Oh, he does. "And now I know indeed that you shall surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand. Therefore, swear now to me by the Lord that you will not cut off my descendants after me, and that you will not destroy my name from my father's house." So David swore to Saul, and Saul went home. But David and his men went up to the stronghold. Samuel dies later. There's some other stuff. And then I forget why Saul. Trying to remember why Saul went. David takes another wife. And Saul gave his daughter Michal, whatever, to Palti, somebody else in Saul's court. So he just gave David's wife away. The Ziphites. There we go. There's the Ziphites mentioned. Come to Saul at Gibeah, saying, "David not hiding." Saul's just a troubled man, and he can't stop trying to kill David. And I wonder if this is. I'd be interested to learn if this is not evidence that Saul isn't just weak in weak in the mind, but also weak in his ability to lead and not be led by others. David's popular. Everybody loves David. And when everybody loves somebody, not everybody does. David had his enemies. We've read about them through several of these Psalms. And with that said, I think there's good reason to believe that perhaps they are guiding Saul to continue hunting David. Maybe they realize that they won't do as well in David's court. Maybe they truly fear that. Maybe they're members of Saul's house who are worried that if David does come to power, he will kill them. Who knows? I don't. God does. But I'm very interested in why that continues to happen. And if that's not a bigger indictment on Saul's ability to be his own man. So there we go. That's the backstory on David fleeing from Saul into the cave. which is funny because this is when he flees into the cave that Saul eventually goes into to relieve himself. Be merciful to me, O God. Be merciful to me, for my soul trusts in you. And in the shadow of your wings, I will make my refuge until these calamities have passed by. I will cry out to the God most high, to God who performs all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me. He reproaches the one who would swallow me up. Selah. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions. I lie among the sons of men who are set on fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have dug a pit before me. Into the midst of it, they themselves have fallen. Salah. My heart is steadfast. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and give praise. Awake, my glory! Awake, lute and harp. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing to you among the nations. For your mercy reaches into the heavens, and your truth unto the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. So again, this is we've read them before. David's Psalms by David really read with very much the same themes. You know, usually within the same 2 or 3 themes. And this one is, I have enemies against me. I trust in you. Please protect me. Very similar to yesterday. But we know the context behind this. Be merciful to me, O God. Be merciful to me. My soul trusts in you. In the shadow of your wings, I will make my refuge until these calamities pass by. You're my shelter, and your greatness, the the your entire being, or you know, I'm trying to find the right words. Y'all know I struggle with this sometimes. Um, just the power that you have. I can take shelter in it until all of my troubles have passed, no matter how strong they are, because we until these calamities have passed by. I will cry out to God Most High, to God who performs all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me. He reproaches the one who would swallow me up. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. Again, right in there. God, super powerful. I'm fighting the good fight. He's on my side because I'm doing what he wants me to do. He will deliver me. That's why I cry out to him. My soul is among lions. I lie among the sons of men who are set on fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. My enemies um, are capable, are formidable, but I'm turning to you. I'm turning to you. They prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have dug a pit before me. Into the midst of it, they themselves have fallen. They have tried to trap me, but because of my faith and obedience, they fall into their own traps. My heart is steadfast, O God. Heart is steadfast. I will sing and give praise. Awake, my glory. Awake, lute and harp. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing to you among the nations. For your mercy reaches unto the heavens and your truth unto the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. Again, more praise and all this. Look, the funny thing about this, this is the part going back to that, my enemies are falling into their own traps. He's on the run. He's been chased basically into this cave. Saul, not knowing, I mean, I don't think the cave was the target but the area that they were in, they had chased them to. Saul, unwittingly, thinking he's clever for driving them here, goes into a cave, and ends up being the cave. Something about your own petard. The just judgment of the wicked. Ooh, fire and brimstone. That's what it sounds like anyway. To the chief musician set to do not destroy a victim of David. Do you indeed speak righteousness, you silent ones? Do you judge uprightly, you sons of men? No. In heart, you work wickedness. You weigh out the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf cobra that stops its ear, which will not heed the voice of charmers, charming ever so skillfully. Break their teeth in their mouth, O God. There we go, Nernath. Break their teeth in their mouth, O God. Break out the fangs of the young lions, O Lord. Let them flow away as waters which run continually. When he bends his bow, let his arrows be as if cut in pieces. Let them be like a snail which melts away as it goes, like a stillborn child of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the burning thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind. As in his living and burning wrath, the righteous shall. Wait, I'm going to go back on that. Before your pots can feel the burning thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, as in his living and burning wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that men will say, surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely he is God who judges in the earth. Pretty quick and biting on this. In your face. This is a little confrontational. This is not a detraction. Sometimes you have to be straight to the point and confront. Be confrontational. Do you speak? This is kind of the things that we struggle with. I'll get to what I'm talking about in a second. Do you indeed speak righteousness, you silent ones? Do you judge uprightly, you sons of men? No. In heart you work wickedness. You weigh out the violence of your hands in the earth. I don't necessarily understand what he's talking about when he's referring to somebody as a silent one. But people who do wicked for wickedness' sake often try to try to cloak themselves in some fake righteousness. We see it in politics. Politics is always a great example of where you'll find bad things going. If you have the level of contempt I do, or even a fraction of it. Um, but you'll see this what we call the bully pulpit in politics is when somebody's trying to take the moral high ground or imagine a moral high ground and use it to um shamefully coerce uh, other politicians and other partisans into agreeing with them in essence. Now, I use that as a very secular example of something we see in the real world where somebody is doing wicked for wickedness sake and trying to cloak it in fake righteousness, right? We've seen this. You guys don't need to go very far with your imagination to pull out examples if you pay attention at all to the world around you. We can even find this in interactions with people sometimes in our own lives. And we see this, unfortunately, even in the church. The wicked are estranged from the womb. I like this part right here. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. Their poison is the poison of the serpent. They are like the deaf cobra that stops its ear, which will not heed the voice of charmers, charming ever so skillfully. Wicked people, it seems, oftentimes have always been that way. Maybe you knew somebody. Huh. I hate using this example because we're not always very good judges of character as kids, but maybe you knew a kid who was always mean. And maybe not mean because they came from a rough background or anything, just mean. That's just their personality. It's just a mean-spirited person, and they were like that from the moment you knew them in elementary school all the way up till maybe today. Maybe you graduated from high school, they were just always mean, and then you ran into them at a reunion or something like that, and they were just as heinous as they always were. Or you hear stories about how they've continued to act. The sad thing to think about is that there are people out there who never have a heart to let Jesus in. They don't want it. Even if they acknowledge that it's there. The only time that they would be interested in it would be for selfish reasons, which, if you're really opening your heart to Christ, you can't do it for selfish reasons. They go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies. They're poisoned like the poison of a serpent. Lies, rumor, discord, all that stuff. Any of my Tolkien fans talking about the singing of the Ainur and Melkor singing discord into the creation of Arda, or into existence or whatever. Kind of feels like that, right? You can have something good, and then somebody can just come in and just ruin it by just toxic, just sheer toxic mean-spiritedness. Poison. It's like poison. And they don't listen, and they don't care. They will not heed the voice of charmers charming ever so skillfully. Even folks who are reaching out to them to say, "Look, man, this isn't the right thing." It almost feels like it's referring to sociopaths. Mind you, that when this is talking about the wicked, this might be not referring to all wickedness, but maybe a certain flavor of it. But regardless of whether it is talking about all of it or a subset of it, you can see what this is kind of alluding to. God, you're not listening to God. You have turned a deaf ear to him, You are a snake, which is of significance to us as Christians, considering the snake's origins in the Garden of Eden, or the snake's backstory in the Garden of Eden. Break their teeth in their mouth, oh God. Thought about you, Nernath. Too bad he's not tuning in. Break their teeth in their mouth, oh God. Break out the fangs of the young lions, oh Lord. Effectively disarm them. The word I like to use, neuter them. So they don't have any real threat. They have really no weapon to wield. They pose no threat to us. Let them flow away as waters which run continually. When he bends the bow, let his arrows be as if cut in pieces. Welcome, Nico. Let them be like a snail which melts away as it goes, like a stillborn child of a woman, that they may not see the sun. That part's a little sad, just because of the imagery. Before your pots can feel the burning thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind. I don't understand that one. I don't understand that reference. As in his living and burning wrath, the righteous shall rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Very, very Old Testament feeling. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that men will say, surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely he is God who judges the earth. And this is more from the lines, God hates wickedness. And when you wrap yourself up in wickedness, he hates it so much that those of us who try to eschew it at every turn, he's got to have a reward for us, which of course he does. That's part of the saying. It's so bad. He hates wickedness so much that people look and be like, man, he must love righteousness. And righteous people he probably takes great favor in them. David's a good example. So there we go. Well, Texan and Nico are latecomers. That's our show for today. Sorry you only came in at the back end. But Nico, you did have great timing. It's awesome. All right, guys. All right. It has been a long day. A long day. And I enjoy this time with you guys. But I'm gonna wrap things up and call it a night. And and settle into the evening proper. All right, guys. So Nico. Thanks, Nico. So Nico, Texan Italian, Lucy, Thad, the man, Alex, Alias, Dresden. I don't think we got anybody else in there today. Not anybody else in the chat today. But man, you guys are enough. You guys are enough to make this show better. Even if it was just one of you guys and me, like back when Fig was the only one who tuned into these streams. Y'all, I appreciate it. And I cherish every comment, every dig at whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Just glad you guys are here. So keep it up, and yeah, forever grateful. To folks who are watching but not commenting, I encourage you to, but I understand you might not want to or might not be able to. I'm just glad that you guys can tune in, find something that you enjoy tuning into night in and night out. For everybody who is catching this on replay, sorry you didn't get the chance to catch this live, but I hope to catch you live sometime soon. But all of you, replay, lurkers, the chat, whatever, all of you have a great night, and God bless.